Greetings, hunters. Now, you may be wondering, Tim, why are you making a guide? This isn't your kind of content at all. And you're right, it's not. However, I have a lot of experience with this weapon, and with the popularity of wilds, I want to make sure that people know how to use this Unga Bunga-inator effectively. Now, it is an easy weapon to pick up, but I would say something like the sword and shield or lance is a much better beginner weapon. Greatsword has a moderate skill floor and a decently high skill ceiling. Now, it's not as high as something like the charge blade or even the long sword, but it's higher than people give it credit for. Greatsword is a slower weapon that relies a lot on your own skills of positioning. It is also the weapon with the highest single hit attack in the game, the True Charged Slash, also known as the TCS. Many people consider it to be the simplest weapon in the game, and it's easy to see why on first glance. It's a big ol' slab of metal or bone that you smack against a monster 3 times and get really big numbers. There's a lot more to it though. Timing, positioning, and threat assessment are all incredibly important to using the Greatsword effectively. The Greatsword is also an extremely effective weapon for wake-up attacks, which is why many of the high-tier meta builds for the weapon use the sleep element. Let's get on to the actual guide, yeah? This is going to be broken up into 5 different parts, starting with... First off, let's just get this out of the way, alright? The simplest way to perform this combo is like this, alright? You spam 1 button, and boom, TCS combo right there. Perfect, amazing, incredible, can't be better. Or can it? Now, if you actually want to deal some damage, instead of pressing the button, you hold either triangle on PlayStation, Y on Xbox, or M1 if you're playing on mouse and keyboard for some reason, to use a charged slash attack. Once that attack goes through, hold it again to charge up a strong charged slash. And then hold it one more time to get to the true charged slash. Seems easy enough, right? And it did some decent damage, but that was still kind of boring, wasn't it? Well, that's because a Greatsword has a timing mechanic. You want to deal some real damage? When you're holding your attack, you can see your character change color 3 times, going from white to yellow to red. However, if you continue holding the attack, you'll go back to level 2, dealing less damage. Make sure to release the attack right after you see, hear, or feel the 3rd charge level for max damage. This combo does take a lot of commitment though, and if you're anything like me, that scares you. So, allow me to introduce you to... This button will be one of the most important parts of your moveset. I'm not joking. Is a monster about to hit you while you're charging? Hit the B button. Is the monster going to be just out of range for your charge attack? Hit the B button twice. Do you need to kill a stupid little bug that won't sit still for more than a second and constantly buzzes around paralyzing you or maybe pinning you in the— Oh my god, dear god, do not turn on arachnophobia mode. Hit the B button. Okay, but seriously. That tackle that you can do out of a charge is going to be your bread and butter while playing this weapon in the field. Not only does it give you super armor, it also gives you a significant damage reduction and allows you to instantly begin charging the next stage in your TCS combo. For example, that's not all it's good for though. It also does a very small amount of KO damage. KO damage is basically just an invisible meter that when full will cause a KO and the monster will be knocked down for a certain amount of time. You won't usually be the one KOing monsters, but I've had it happen more times than I can count, so after a tackle you can also press it again as I showed earlier to perform a jumping wide slash. It's a move that's got a lot of forward momentum, allowing you to catch a monster that's moving away from you. You can also follow it up with Y or triangle to smack the monster with the side of your blade, but I don't usually do that. In most cases, you'll be the next target, so I usually end up using... Guard. Where do I even start with this? It's beautiful, alright? If you told me, back when I was first playing Monster Hunter World back in, 2019, that I would be saying anything positive about guarding with the Greatsword, I probably would have called you a and carried on with my unga bungaing. This game, however, holy moly, this game's guard is incredible. First off, perfect guard, busted, alright? If you time your block well, and it does not have to be perfect, you will take no physical damage and your weapon will not lose sharpness. And reason number 2, if you keep blocking well, you'll enter what's called a power clash. initiate it, spam Y, then you get to go straight into a TCS. I mean, come on, what more can a Greatsword user ask for? Wait, what's that? Is that foreshadowing? What am I hearing right now? Did you think guards were cool? Did you? Yeah? What if I told you you can literally just say nah to any physical attack a monster throws at you, with a high chance to send them flying back, knocking them down, and grappling towards them like your hunter's yelling, nah, I'm not about to let that slide. Yeah, so, offset attacks. You press B and Y, and if you hit a monster while it's attacking, this happens. It's a lot cooler than it's a real monster, though. Okay, first of all, what is sleep, okay? Sleep is a status effect that, well, puts the monster to sleep, duh. But mechanically, why does it matter? Because the first attack that hits a sleeping monster will deal double damage. So, as I said earlier, Greatsword is the best weapon for waking up a monster. If you know what you're doing. If the monster falls asleep, and there's a Greatsword on your team, you let them wake up the monster. Period. Here's how you do it, alright? First, sleepy time. Now, you want to line up your character so that you are perpendicular to the part of the monster you want to hit. Usually go for the tail. If the tail's already cut or it doesn't have a tail, go for the head. And a good distance away. So, to start off, you can either do a tackle combo or go through the whole normal combo. There's no real difference. Then, when you unleash the TCS, you want to turn your camera towards the monster, wait for the first attack to hit the ground, and then activate focus mode. That's going to be left trigger, L2, or left alt. So with the second hit, you strike the sleeping monster. And as a little bonus, I just want to show you an example of what experienced Greatsword gameplay looks like. I'll be using base armor and base sword against a Chatacabra, so no major spoilers here. Boo. Live commentary. Hello. I'm just gonna cut to when I get there, honestly. This is kind of Alright. Hello, big boy. Now, what you want to do when you first encounter a monster, if you can, is you want to get behind them with your weapon sheathed and hit them with a sneak attack. It's just free damage. Might as well. So, first things first. Right. Most monsters will start with a roar or something. This one starts by licking itself and walking for some reason. Alright. Bonk. Yeah, there's a perfect guard. I'm gonna offset this. Bop. There you go. Oh, I didn't even talk about the wound punish stuff. Hey, you don't really need to know about it. Ideally, as a greatsword, you shouldn't be using wounds if you're playing with people, because most of the time other people will use them. But if you need to use wounds for whatever reason, it's gonna be left trigger and right bumper. Yep. Also, the window for offset attack is really big. Also, sometimes with offset attacks, they won't actually offset the monster. You still won't take any damage, but they just won't get launched back like that. I just realized how claustrophobic this camera looks, because I usually have my zoom like all the way out. I was using it zoomed in for the footage that you just watched. There we go, that's better. Kind of like drag it across them. But Greatsword doesn't really benefit from wound breaking at all. Stuff like a longsword and a charge blade benefit from it a lot, but generally as a greatsword, if you're playing with people, you kind of just want to let them get it, because it's not enough damage for you to worry about it, and they benefit a lot more from it. Also, being greatsword, you're gonna miss a lot. Don't worry too much about it, because when you do hit, you hit for very big numbers, and that's it. Like, I think every weapon in Monster Hunter feels good, but Greatsword, just something about the big wumpage is just beautiful. Alright, back to voiceover me. And just like that, you're a Greatsword pro now. The most important thing to remember, in my opinion, is to make sure not to overcharge your attacks. I see so many people overcharging and doing significantly less damage than they could be. I hope that this guide could help at least one person to use this disgusting powerhouse of a weapon, and I sincerely hope you've enjoyed. That's all I got for now, so until next time, may the Sapphire Star light your way.